guys worry about unloading, like you say that. Hold on to your stuff, especially your hats.
Do check with the
We're
driver.
windy up on the beach road. You do something. The very first masonry building on Navy property, built in 1852 by the Army Corps of Engineers for the U.S. Navy, built as a coal depot. Way out to our right, that beautiful red brick building, that's the Customs House, built in 1891 as a federal courthouse. The inquiry into the sinking of the battleship Maine in Havana Harbor was held right there. That is the event that started the Spanish-American War. Little garden on our right, Clinton Square. That monument in the middle was built in 1866 in honor of Fisher Maritime Museum. Mel Fisher looked for the shipwrecks of the Atocha and the Santa Margarita for 15 years. They were Spanish treasure galleons that wrecked in 1622, about 30 miles off the coast of Key West. When Mel Fisher finally found those shipwrecks in 1985, he pulled up over $400 million, 175 working days while he was president, right here. He established the little White House. That's Judy's Gates coming up on our right. These are the presidential gates, and they're only opened up for U.S. presidents. Built in 1906. First opened for William Howard Taft, 1912. Later on for John F. Kennedy in 1961, during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Last opened for former President Jimmy Carter, 1997. Years ago, my erecting captain's wife, a lady named Mrs. Cosgrove. I talked a little bit about the trees in Key West on the tour. Most of the trees you see around you, they're not native. They've all been brought here over the years and planted here. This was a rocky little island when it was discovered in 1513. War-era brick forts. The architect of the post office was Sonny McCoy. He was a 5-time mayor of Key West. He was infamous.
Oh.
This road goes all the way up the eastern seaboard ahead of us, all the way to Fort Kent, Maine. 2,209 miles north. It's the very beginning of US 1 right here. Coming up on our right, our courthouse complex called Jackson Square, named for Andrew Jackson, who was the very first governor of Florida. He was a military governor when Florida was still a territory. Later on, of course, our light away the sun in his veranda in the morning when he was reading his newspaper. So we picked his house up a little bit. He had it towed across the street and rotated 90 degrees. To this day, the Eduardo Gatto Jr. house on your left, that's the only odd-numbered house on the even side of the street. Now on our left, the Butterfly Conservatory. You can walk through there. There's 1,200 butterflies fluttering and flying around you. 200 varieties. They say if one lands on you, you'll have good luck the rest of the day. But our cigar industry here in Key West was a big part of Key West history. 1831, an Englishman showed up in Key West with Old Order Tobacco. A man named William Wall jump-started our cigar industry here in Key West. By the end of the 1800s, the population of Key West was 20,000, but one-third of that was Cuban cigar factory workers. We'll try to figure that out. A guy named Dr. Joseph Yates Porter. He was a native Key Western. At the time he was stationed here in the U.S. Army as an Army surgeon. Dr. Porter thought poor sanitation was his problem. He went around cleaning up all the stagnant ponds and puddles and standing water around Key West. Dr. Porter made a big impact on yellow fever for the good. He reduced the numbers of victims quite a bit. But not for the reasons he thought. He served at that convent for 51 years. Sister Louise Gabriel. And during her 51 years of service, she suffered from our great seaport. He wanted all cargo to the mainland. People at that time thought that was a crazy idea. They called it Flagler's Folly. No one would invest in it. So Henry Flagler spent $15 million of his own money and built a railroad to Miami Breakers. That's because all the waves break 5 miles out there on our coral reef. That coral reef stretches all the way to the Dry Tortugas, 68 miles to our west, all the way to Miami. It's 200 miles long. It's the 3rd largest coral reef in the world, the only one in North America, and it's 5 miles out there. But that same coral reef that breaks up the waves, it used to wreck ships. 1 or 2 ships almost every single week would run aground and break apart out there. But that would happen distance and cry that would go out to Key West. Wreck ashore.